get your attention, please? All right, good evening. My name is Chuck Leonard. I get the honor to be the political representative of Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 342. Welcome to the House of Labor. On behalf of our business manager, Che Timmons, who couldn't be here tonight, he told me to wish everybody a great, safe weekend, and he wished he could be here. And I got a few items that I need to talk about. One is you are in the House of Labor, and this is Plumbers and Steamfitters. Bathrooms straight through the double doors to the right, first right. You will not find better bathrooms anywhere, not even at sheet metal, because we are plumbers. Okay? We have the best toilets anywhere. And I guarantee you I can make this room cold enough to make you put a jacket on when it's 100 degrees out. So we also are HVACR. So welcome to the House of Labor. We are here today specifically. This is a joint effort between Building Trades and the Labor Council. So Labor, thank you for being here today. Our representatives that are here from Labor, thank you for being here. We're here to meet the next assembly, or meet and build relationship with our next assembly member. She's here, she's a champion of labor, and if you ain't on board, you better get on board, because this train is leaving the depot. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, our next assembly member, Anamarie.
Well, how can I go after that wonderful introduction? Thank you, Chuck, and the Labor Council for hosting me tonight, and thank you all that took some time out of your schedules of kicking off your weekend to be here with me, to be here in community, and to be with our labor family. So I really do appreciate that, because time is precious, and I know what it means to be away from our families or our loved ones. So Chuck, thank you so much for being one of the first after the primary to reach out to me and be so welcoming and be able to turn the next chapter, because we all know each other. We've been around the block a few times, and we've turned many chapters, and sometimes we're on pause on those chapters, and it really did mean the world to me to have Chuck reach out immediately and raise his hand and say, got the train, it pulled up to the station, we're all ready to go, how can I be of help? And so hence today was put in motion to start creating spaces for those of you who don't know me to get to know me, and those who already know me to have an opportunity to check in and see what phase 2 of the campaign is. So thank you. I'm humbled to be in the House of Labor as always, and grateful for the support, and looking forward to continuing to meet and connect one-on-one beyond group settings. I was joking with my good friend Charisse over there. I said, well, what should I say tonight? It's kind of a mixed crowd, and we were speech writing over there, and she's like, I don't know, go say something that will inspire us to want to take you to the finish line. So, but in all seriousness, I also want to acknowledge that what an amazing journey we had in the primary. The first time Contra Costa has ever seen 4 women in a race and 3 women of color. And I still, think it's a moment to pause why they were my opponents, and I'm happy to be here. I am very excited that, the political landscape is looking very different and more welcoming to women and diversity. And so, I think that is all through the work of our labor communities and our communities of values that we all share. And so, I want to close that chapter with everybody realizing that was a pretty epic for Contra Costa to witness that, and that I got to be part of that history. But even more importantly, I also want to thank all of you. The train, there's different stops, and it's the primary, and you know, whether you were with me or not, I am just really humbled how everybody has just reached out, and that's meant the world to me, because I know what it feels like to be alone in a space and just work hard. And you know, and I've also had the honor of being endorsed over my political career as well. So I'm happy we're all reunited again and excited about round 2. Lots of things are happening on the campaign trails of, you know, being out in the community. We worked really hard in the primary to knock on doors with limited resources, and so this campaign is going to be to get to the spaces we weren't able to get on our feet. We have a lot of work to do out in Brentwood. I won 10 of the 13 cities in the district as a top vote getter. So thank you to those who were in the primary who worked so hard. And I have to acknowledge that our small, mighty little team, we did it, and now the momentum will continue to build with more of our friends together that share the same values, right? You know, it doesn't matter where we were. We all share the same values around our labor family as well. That being said, also just a snippet, you know, a lot of people have seen me in the political scene and really don't know a whole lot of my background, and I'm not going to bore you all with a whole, manifesto of my life, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my family and a whole pack of the Avilas here, because Eric Zell was going to eat a lot of tacos with me alone, so we summoned the Avilas, and so I want to thank my cousins for always showing up and being present and encouraging me in all the spaces, and most importantly, my husband, who's managing the home front while I'm out and about doing my thing. And doing a doctorate while his wife decides to seek higher office. So yeah, our house is a little crazy these days. But that said, you know, my connection to labor is deep. I've always been part of a labor union. I grew up in Contra Costa County. I'm a 3rd generation Contra Costa County resident. My children are now 4th generation. My home is Martinez, where many of you were earlier. And my family, you know, comes from very humble beginnings. My grandfather immigrated to this country under the Bracero program, and as you all know, that history of the Bracero program, they were exploited, abused, and underpaid. And so my family knows very well what that space looks like when we don't have unions protecting us. I would also like to say that, you know, my grandfather worked many different spaces, from not just the fields, from railroad to industry to waste management, and also suffered a lot of industrial accidents in those spaces. And so my lens is definitely colored from that perspective as a granddaughter of an immigrant, and knowing how much they were exploited and abused in those spaces until, you know, a lot of the labor laws that are in place because of what you all do. So thank you, and I look forward to continuing that fight with you all as well, because it has a very personal meaning for me and my family as well, of the importance of creating jobs for families and having voices in workplaces. They are all intertwined. My career in housing, as a 1st generation in my family to go to college, I'm very humbled by that experience. I was raised by a single mother. I come from an immigrant family, and so my activism and passion really has stemmed from being such a young advocate, really young, fighting for my immigrant mother, who in this country faced lots of racism just by what she looked like or how she spoke. And so that really colored who I became, and specialized in the field of housing and economic development. And I feel those are all going to be transferable skills to the state legislature. I know a little bit of everything that intertwines. People don't realize that housing really is tied to the workforce. It's tied to education. It's tied to healthcare. And so there's a lot of public policy spaces that are of deep interest to me. And I look forward to this journey to really make it impactful, because I've already realized the fact that I made it out of the primary. This is quite bigger than Anamarie. I'm honored to be the first Latina to come out of Contra Costa County as a Mexican American. I'm honored to be able to have everyone's support in this room. It means a lot to me. But most importantly, I want to make sure that I always stay dialed in and connected to my community and be a great ambassador of what our people and our community need, from housing to education to the workforce and to public safety. And so I want you to all know that I'm a very curious, thoughtful individual and looking forward to educating myself in spaces that are unfamiliar to me, elevating in the spaces that have been my professional space, and I'm looking to put Contra Costa on the map at the state level, and I'm looking to address a lot of the socioeconomic issues. I have the best district, honestly. I've had a lot of opportunity to kind of see what everyone's doing. That I run along the Carquinez Straits to the Delta, to have half of the county reside in my district, over 500 residents. The diversity, over 45% of people in this district are people of color, from Latino to API to Black. It is a very exciting district, and the fact that I've gotten the speaker and the Latino caucus and others curious of where this little Martinez girl is coming from is exciting to me, because we're going to be able to talk about the environment. We're going to talk about brownfields to greenfields. We're going to talk about affordable housing. We're going to talk about protecting and preserving jobs and creating safe workplaces for you all. So that excites me, that people are excited about me, but it's not about me, it's about us. And so moving forward, I look forward to sitting down and taking the time that I'm running against a Republican to meet with you all and get to know you on a one-on-one level, and I hope that you all reach out to me as well. Why it is a Republican, I'm not taking anything for granted. We need to run just as hard, raise money, and win spaces that we did not win in the primary, and have a very wide berth between myself and the Republican that does not share our values, because it isn't about partisan, it's about our values. And I already know in the glimpse that I have seen of my opponent, she does not share our values. She does not share our labor values, our community values, and quite offensively, she's very anti-immigrant. And so I am determined to beat her, regardless of that the numbers look great. We need to wake up every voter in this Contra Costa County. We need to knock on doors, and we need to win over people that may not be as informed of what's going on and the importance of this race. So I hope that you all join me in being out on the streets, because I am going to work just as hard as I did in the primary to make sure that I knock on all of those doors and educate our community on the importance of this race and what is at stake. Our values are not for sale, and our values are worth fighting for. And I hope that you all join me in that fight to make sure that those values of that Republican do not ever think they can percolate in our county or in our state. So again, it's bigger than me, and I understand that. And I hope that you all reach out to me, and I would love to carve out time. I'm not taking any vacation, just to meet with you all individually and talk about what's important to you. And most importantly, I want to talk about what we envision as a community on legislation to fix things. And number one on my list is obviously housing and education, because we all deserve a safe, affordable place to live, and we need to be able to afford it with good jobs and have a strong economic engine in Contra Costa County. And education is key for myself as a first generation who broke a cycle of poverty. It was through education. And so we need to look at all spaces through that lens. Labor, the business community, and our communities abroad, that we need to work together on fixing public education. And so I'm very committed to that. And again, thank you. Sylvia, I think, has left. Los Rancheros always love to support local businesses. Has brought the food once again. Please enjoy, being together and talking about what our vision is going to be together. And I'm grateful for your time today, and looking forward to working with you on the campaign trails. But most importantly, we're going to have the biggest party ever in Contra Costa when we get out of November. So work hard between now and then. So thank you. And lastly, acknowledge you and give you a minute just because Labor Council was part of this as well, so.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, Hey everybody, my name is Josh Hanninger. I'm with the Contra Costa Labor Council. We're a federated body of now 89 unions in Contra Costa County. We've just got 2 new ones. Look, when we look at this race, when we look at really what's at stake in this election overall for us, it's either who is going to define the future of our state? Is it going to be big business? Is it going to be out-of-state interests, or is it going to be actually working people? It's time for us to really think about the economy and how we can transform it. You know, what happens in our economy now is not by accident, you know, it's not like an act of God, right? It's not like an earthquake that hopefully doesn't hit us anytime soon. It's not like that, right? These are choices that people make. And the values of labor, I'm so excited that Anamarie is running because she shares these values with us, right? Making sure that working people every day come home safe from their job. Making sure they can afford to live in the communities that they grew up in. Making sure that they have a job that's actually close to where they grew up, so they don't have to be a mega community. These are the issues that we need to make sure that we're fighting for. That's why labor is united in making sure that Anamarie is the next assembly person for this area. We're so excited, and we're going to be standing shoulder to shoulder the entire time. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I didn't have one for it, but we're so glad, we're so excited to have you. Holding a mic, and I'm going to give this to Chuck. Here you go, Chuck.
Hey everybody, eat, drink, be merry, 7 o'clock. Everybody's got to leave. I'm going home. Thank you.